Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Pillars of Eternity 2. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that it chose to join me today in the library. Oh, the scriptorium, actually. This reminds me of a place in Planescape Torment, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, this is the focus of the Hand Occult, the followers of Wael, I believe. The squat device before you hums quietly, except that it's entirely silent. The humming sensation, you realize, happens not in your ears, but at the edge of your mind. Well, to be fair, the humming sensation doesn't happen in the ears either. Like, normal, the sound doesn't happen in the ears, it happens anyway. I'm gonna picture the key that I received last episode after a terrible battle from the memory hoarder, and just gonna picture it. You place your hand on either side of the machine. The not quite sound grows louder. I'm not sure, like, I'm not trying to be nitpicky here, although I am. I'm not trying to establish a distinction between vibration and sound, because it exists and it's relevant to some conversations. Not to this one. How can you hear something without your brain hearing it? Because if... So... Like, sound is just vibration of air, but of other things too, and in our case, the vibration of our inner ear, there's like a thing in there, and I don't know the name of it. It probably is very well known name. I just don't know it because I'm an uneducated bad person. The point is, there's a thing in our ear that vibrates, and that transmits information to our brain, and our brain here makes a sound, listens to it, and hears a sound, and we hear a sound to it based on it. We can also hear sounds without that vibration happening. It's called hallucinations, and also in dreams and other stuff. It's just the brain is a complicated machine, and it does many sounds. We hear the sounds, they're just not, the vibration didn't exist, right? Now, what we're saying here is that the vibration doesn't exist, and also our brain doesn't hear the sound, and still we do hear the sound. We hear it in our soul, is what we do. It gives you the impression of a growling stomach in our soul, hungry for something within our soul. I can sacrifice a memory. Sure. A prickling sensation scales your arms, sliding into the joint of your shoulders and slipping up your spine and into the base of your skull. You feel lessened somehow, as something slips from your mind, like something you had just meant to say. It flows down your arms and into the trephine, which whirls contentedly. The machine quiets, returning to its inactive state. Nothing further happens. I don't know that has any effect. The plaque on this display reads, Heldur's Inheritance. I bet it's gonna be really hard for me to sneak in here. I can give it a try, because there's nobody around here. The eyes should see. The eyes don't see. The eyes don't see. What do we have over here? Scroll of withdrawal. No, don't need that. Note on a regretful sabotage. At your request, I paid a visit to our friend S and, quote, adjusted, unquote, his charts. Your suspicions were correct. He was on the verge of a breakthrough discovery. I hate to spoil a man's career like that, but the greater good demands that certain islands remain uncharted. Smart fellow, if we felt so inclined, we could turn him to our side, though he might think twice if he knew about this little setback. His dog is friendly as ever. Aww. There you go. That's proof of things over there. I suppose I'm not really sure who this S is. Sisak, potentially. Could be. Probably not. Whether it's sealed by machinery or magic, there's no moving this door. Well, I suppose if the Dungeon Master says that, I suppose that's just how it is. Maybe the scribblers also remind me of Planescape Torment and not just the level design.
Indeed.
Indeed they do. What is that? Recently written note. Everything shook. How long have I been down here? Too long and long enough, yet that's not occurred before. Now things move into darkness. Things watch. Something has changed. That's not good. Scroll of Shining Beacon. Some more palm slats. What are these for? Is that money? No, it's an ingredient. Because palms do not form annual rings, these thin slats of lusterless wood are free from knots and similar defects. Due to the rarity of paper in the Deadfire, natives of the region prefer palm slats for writing surfaces. Such slats may be bound with thread to create easily stored volumes of writing. The annual rings there, I don't know them as that name. I know what it's referring to. I wonder, first off, how old the knowledge that each ring roughly represents a year in a tree, how old that knowledge is in our world. But I also wonder if it happens for trees, for example, in rainforests, where you wouldn't necessarily have the same sort of yearly drought, I suppose, which is well, it's not a drought, it's the winter. It's what makes the rings be all weird, because they just change their color, and we perceive them as rings. They're not necessarily rings, they're just a frequency thing inside of the tree. It's a whole thing. It doesn't matter. The point is, I wonder if it happens in rainforests as well, which would be here. So that might not make sense in this setting. Into Deadfire. The light shining upon the book resting on this pedestal seems to darken the words on the volume's pages. The writing grows slick and indistinct, eventually running down the slanted pages and off the tome entirely, into a trough set along the bottom of the lectern to catch it. The writing does that? But somehow not the ink. The ink stays there, but the writing does that. I assume it's the ink. It's interesting that it's written. Yeah, it's writing. Ink runs from between the pages as well, giving the impression that the... You say as well? As well as the writing? Or as well as from the top of the book? Giving the impression that the book weeps. When the last of the ink dribbles from the book, the pages are left entirely blank. Entirely blank. Not really. You can still read from there. There's a lot of ways that you can read a blank book, basically, because the paper is irreversibly changed when you apply ink to it, and then you can amplify those changes either through spectrochromia something or other. There's a bunch of techniques that you can use to
too difficult, I say.
They would be too difficult. Yes, probably impossible to in this setting. Speaking of settings and whatnot, this brazier burns brightly before you, blazing with a heat so intense it threatens to scald you from yards away. And I can touch the flame because I'm very I was injured instead. You put a shaking hand into the fire and immediately recoil in pain. The skin on your blistered extremity twists and bubbles, weeping from open sores. Immediately, just bad. I can throw the horn to the flames. Why would I do that? Where's the horn? There they are. There you are. Elder's horn. And yes, I did get an injury, but it's fine. I think. I'm probably writing it wrong, but there's no mention of it. I don't know what quest this is. So I'm gonna save and most likely not throw the horn in there. Yeah, the godlike's horn glows. First purple and then a bright red before erupting in a shower of sparks that spray the floor around the brazier. Oh. Huh. Well, I think we just don't have the book, because we didn't have the option over there, but I think we have just found the way forward. Let's go back to the Temple of Revelation. I say go back. I think we're going back but I'm not really sure about the names at the moment. This would be the third entrance. No, it is back, but it's not where I was thinking, I think. An uneasy feeling comes over you. You realize that your pack is quivering, gently but insistently. Oh god, it's the egg. Yeah, it is. As you rummage through your pack, your hands brush against what feels like moist eggshells, still warm from the departure of their erstwhile occupant. Among your gear, an eyeball slowly opens, then another, and then another, and then another. Something pokes its head open, or out, rather, and opens its tiny jaws, revealing a row of pointed teeth. It lets a triumphant chirp out. And now we have Retina. It's the bad thing. It is the bad thing. This moist deviance of nature looks up at you, or up to you, with starry-eyed adoration. Little Retina doesn't seem aware that it's a twisted parody of evolution, a self-perpetuating engine of nightmares. For the time being, it's content to be your friend. Retina gets a broad view of its surroundings whenever it opens its arms for a tiny hug, which is often. Please don't do that. No. Enemies needed to flank. +1. Good. What does it actually give us? Increased ranged accuracy. It's not lovely. I don't know how much it increases. Aren't you just an adorable little monstrosity? The creature runs its tongue across its teeth. It sharps again before diving back into the warmth and safety of your pack. And Adair points affably in approval because he likes chickens.
Hey, it's looking at me. And also at you.
What a fancy little gentleman. Can we dress it up? Oh, I wonder what it eats.
Everything. Maya coos down the mouth. Oh, yeah, coos down the mouth of your pack while Ishiza quietly pouts at her heels. Ishiza? How dare you? Anyway, we have been here. Yeah, we have been here. I figured we had been here. Oh, no. But I also didn't realize exactly where we were gonna come out. Speaking of coming out.
That's always a promising sign.
I'm not sure. Notes and sketches in Maur's hand litter the table. We haven't been here. I mean, we have been in the... Have we been in the area? Oh, I took some... Yeah, we've been in the... This is the area, but... Oh, the passage is open. Okay. Sounds good to me. Why is it closed? And what was closed before? Probably gonna need to talk to Tane. Oh, there's an extra tentacle.
Table the discussion for a second, Len. It seems the collection spat out our mutual friend in one piece.
Tane glances past Lengrath to smile pleasantly at you.
And it spat you out with company. The prisoners who survived the ordeal can start anew. Aora needs more good ideas out in the wild, don't you think?
Have you made any headway in locating our wayward archmage?
Lengrath leans forward, eager for news. The collection is a festering pit of cruelty and manipulation. I'm lucky to have made it out with my senses intact.
You raise an interesting point. How would you even know if the collections had gotten under your skin, huh? Can you trust anything you wrote in that journal you carry around?
Tane gestures to your logbook. Why am I saying no on this first line? My journal? No. Can I trust anything? Yes. What is the no? Is this the no that some people anyway, say like, oh no, yeah, I believe with you. I believe with you. I believe you. Or no, yeah, I like it. No, yeah, just, you know what I mean? Just no for every sentence. There's some people that say that. Or not. I say for every sentence, but it's not really for every sentence. Well, I'm sure there are people who say it for every sentence, but they must have such a huge tolerance to annoyance, those people, because I get annoyed at me repeating the same things over and over again, and I repeat the same things over and over again. Well, I say a lot. I do it a lot, but I get annoyed. I'm gonna say that my journal, everything in here is the truth. I chronicle it all myself. Say that 10 times fast.
You know what? Ignore my ramblings. If you got it down on parchment, then I'm sure your account is verifiable.
Tane pats you on the shoulder, his typical grin looking more strained than cheerful. Please don't touch me.
No progress on Maura, then?
Her eyes narrow. Yeah, I haven't found Maura yet.
Maura is tenacious. and reckless. She won't hesitate to unleash horror upon the world if it would serve her purposes. And she won't stop until she's secured her goal. I encourage you to hurry.
While you were on Maura's trail, we've learned a bit more about our unusual environs. A finger of the Hand Occult has kept this place going with a skeleton crew of librarians, archivists, and muscle. But they aren't the ones controlling the body. Something else is running the halls obscured independently, doing a decent job of it.
Your definition of what constitutes decency is dubious at best.
Well, these halls are more lively than most of the abandoned sanctums I've visited.
The collections weren't short on prisoners, or a means of controlling them.
Something here is invested in maintaining old projects. Whoever they are, they haven't seen fit to show their face.
Stay on task, Tane. Regardless of how interesting this sanctum's keepers may be, Maura's whereabouts remain our chief concern.
I've learned what I could. I haven't learned what I could from the collections. I still have CSAC. I'll keep searching for Maura.
Given Maura's proclivities, your best option is likely to be...
Langrath continues to speak, but you lose her words in a sudden rush of essence. That's a soul essence. The energy tears your attention toward a disturbance in the center of the antechamber. Not a disturbance, a presence. Something is wrong. We're not in combat. Langrath, you were talking. I'm so sorry. Please continue.
So you freed those poor souls held captive here. Your soft heart will hurt them more than my spell ever could. What will become of them, I wonder? I doubt if Tane has any intention of providing for their care when they return to society. Well, there's no undoing what you've done. I pray the Pallid Night grants them peace when they eventually hobble through her door.
With a world-weary sigh, she turns away. Sorry, Langrath. Well. I think there's just a whole dialogue, so I'm gonna talk to her again. I think there's gonna be more.
You return with news, I hope.
She straightens. I'm curious about you.
Let's sate your curiosity then.
Oh, well, that's very forthcoming. What does it mean to be Langrath?
To be many within a single vessel. We are the distillation of generations. Each successive Langrath reinvigorates the whole and saves us from festering. When I turn my gaze inward, when I look upon the past, I do so through my predecessor's eyes. When any Langrath dies, that person ceases to be, as it is when any Kith's life ends. Yet Langrath endures, now and always.
Aren't you angry that I killed you? Well, the other you.
Should I be? The former Langrath died knowing that what she learned would survive her. Few have that privilege.
You can write things down. Didn't we not have this conversation before?
Though if it's all the same to you, I'd prefer you not kill me. Or at least, let me write my apprentice first.
Write my apprentice. Oh, as in, write a letter to her apprentice. Absolutely. I don't want to. I expected your thoughts on death to be a bit more radical. What do you mean they're more radical? I don't know what radical means in English. I don't know what you think radical means, either, Langrath. I say in English because the word itself originally just means, to be part of a root. So when you say, your thoughts are radical, that means that the thoughts affect the root of something. If you have very superficial thoughts, then it wouldn't affect the root, you know what I mean? But her thoughts are pretty radical. That it is, like, her stance on death is about and also the other Langrath was like that, just letting knowledge live on. I think that's meant to be wrong. I think radical here is taken as wrong, because this second line, which is the one that I'm gonna go with, is the one that says it's right. At least someone around here has a rational response to death.
Among archmages, embracing the wheel's turn is the radical position.
Again, I don't know what you mean. And this time the game actually... It's a shame. It's a shame that the game does that, because it just reminds you that it's the same person writing that as it is the person who wrote the lines for the for Penumbra, which obviously is the case, because that's how dialogues are written. But yeah, I don't know what that means. Radical probably means contrarian here, which is not at all what radical means. Anything can be contrarian. A radical person can be contrarian. A radical person can be super not contrarian. Depends on, you know, what we're talking about here. But it's what she means. Embracing the wheel's turn is the contrarian position. Do you know anything about this place, the Halls Obscured?
When I was young, I felt Galawain's touch in everything. I couldn't imagine life devoid of his guidance, much less how one could come to hate the gods. Since becoming Lengrath, I have seen several atrocities like these collections. Now, respecting the gods at all seems irrational.
That's all for now.
Very well.
Thanks. I'll look into... I know what episode we spent talking to them both, and I'll look into the options if they're the same, because I think they might be the same, but it's going to be an easy tell if Tane has all...
Freedom is long overdue for those poor wretches in the collections. Now they're leaving the nest, ripe with ideas and new potential.
They are. He sighs and wipes away a proud tear from the corner of his eye. Yeah, if he has all white lines, then they might have been reset for some reason.
My little thought bombs are all grown up.
The what?
The Hand Occult uses this place to rewrite history, obscure the truth, and spin fiction into reality. Now, we've turned their own weapons against them. I wrote a fringe benefit into our spell. The prisoners who knew too much might feel extra talkative once they return to society. Secrets which the Hand wanted obscured will be brought to light.
Oh, this is super anti-Wael. I like it. Tane, you're the best.
All it took was sipping a few motes of power from Wael's body.
Tane studies his cuticles and sighs. I don't actually know what cuticles are. He's studying his cuticles. Should we expect any side effects?
Definitely not. Extremely unlikely. I suppose anything's possible.
Don't act so surprised. I did warn you.
Lengrath sighs deeply through her nose.
No need to be glum. Whatever scheme the Hand Occult wanted to accomplish here, we've set it back.
That's true. You might have clued me in beforehand, though.
Oh, would it have been more fun if you knew everything from the start?
Tane cocks his head and studies you.
Nah. Besides, we're standing in the shadow of Wael. I don't think I could have told the whole truth if I wanted to.
What makes you think the Hand's scheme was nefarious?
I'm not saying it was. Theirs might be a carefully organized plan to steer us toward a better future by embellishing some facts and obscuring others. Can you say you've met a single person who deserves that kind of authority? I sure can't. And I'm Tane.
He smiles and shrugs. Yeah. Yes, game. Talk more about how the gods aren't deserving of the control they have over the people. Or might not be, at least. I mean, he doesn't think so. I wouldn't think so. But, you know, we're characters, we're people. The other people might think they are, but the game never talks about that, and it super should. Specifically the first game, because it's more about that than this game is, and it never says anything about the legitimacy of gods. What kind of secrets could these prisoners have?
All kinds of secrets. Wars that should or shouldn't have started. Scandals. The kinds of things you learn from peering through the wrong keyhole. Not knowing is the real fun of the thing.
Well, I guess we're gonna know. I mean, maybe. Somebody is. Well, just once I'd like to know someone... I'd like to do someone a favor without changing the world. No, I like it. I'm not gonna say that. I'll take my reward for breaking history now. Breaking history? More like making history.
I found these beauties tucked away and thought you might give them a good home. There were more at first, but I lost a few to a juggling accident.
Tane passes you an armload of volatile explosives. A juggling accident, Sets hobbled and pulls. Oh, it's implosion charge. That's kind of cool. It's unfortunately only hobbled for 12 seconds, so it sucks. So the hand cult manages the Halls Obscured, correct?
I'd be surprised if most of the Hand even knows that this place exists. They want the world to think they write travel guides and circulate pamphlets of local history. It gets shady when you read past the margins. Things don't always add up. Not even the Hand could tell you which facts they edited for convenience's sake, which ones they spelled out, and which ones they spelled wrong. And this could be where it all happens.
It could be, but I don't think we had this conversation before. Back to my other questions.
Ask away. You know me, I'm an open book with plenty of pictures.
And I'll probably ask you that in the next episode, but I'm gonna check the previous episodes to see if indeed we did get those lines, because I need to make sure. So for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Pillars of Eternity 2. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye. The tentacles say bye-bye.